Winning is definitely contagious, and man, is it fun. This Phillies team that has struggled through most of the 2015 season is fully infected with second-half success. Energy and effort is paying dividends again on the road, where the visitors have already captured a series win, with today's finale yet to come. This has been a very enjoyable weekend for the Phillies and their fans here in San Diego, California. This afternoon, the Phils, who have great success here at this ballpark, will go for the series sweep at Petco Park. Last 7 road games for the Phillies, well, it's kind of like their transition since the All-Star break. They've been much better. 6-1 in the last 7 road games. The only loss to the red-hot Toronto Blue Jays. They've outscored their opponents by 11 runs. And the pitchers combined, the starters are getting a little deeper, and the bullpen has been very effective, including 9 scoreless innings in this series alone. Hey, everybody, I'm Tom McCarthy, along with Ben Davis. We get set to wrap up this first leg of the long road trip for the Phils this afternoon against the Padres. Let's talk about a guy that has been invigorating for this Phillies offense, and that's Odubel Herrera, who hit a speed bump after his first month in the big leagues, but he is well beyond that speed bump now.
He has, and he's hit in just about every position in the lineup. Recently, he's been at the top. He's been a catalyst for this ball club, running deep counts, fouling a lot of pitches off, and ultimately getting a lot of hits. And he's doing the little things for the Phillies, and that's what they need him to do to get to the middle of that lineup that can produce some runs.
Well, yesterday he drove in the first run and then was able to establish his presence on the base paths to allow the Phils to score a second run in the first.
And again, it's the little things. This is a play you very rarely see, especially with 1 out or 2 outs. You can make the third out at third base. That doesn't happen. All he needs is a little window to score on a wild pitch, ends up beating Tyson Ross to home plate and scoring a run. That is the epitome of manufacturing a run all by yourself.
Well, and look at the dugout after he scored that run. And later on, he picks up another RBI on this line drive that brings home Cesar Hernandez. His defense has been sound. He's the reason why they felt like they could trade Ben Revere. Now, the last 30 games, he's been one of the best outfield offensive players in baseball.
Yes, he has. And listen, again, everything's coming together. He's doing it with extra base hits. I love to watch him run. The guy can pick him up and put him down. But again, he's staying within himself, not trying to do a whole lot. He did go in that little swoon early in the year, but he's come out of it. And listen, he's going to see his name in that lineup every day. I think mentally that's a big help for him as well.
All right, well, today he'll have to deal with a guy that really has had the Phillies number. Even if his numbers are not good this year overall, it's Andrew Cashner. 2 starts against the Phils. He's also made some relief appearances, but his 2 starts against the Phils, a 1.08 ERA. He only has 4 wins this year, but you have to look at what he's done against the Philadelphia Phillies, including last year, and take it seriously.
You kind of wonder why he only has those 4 wins, but he has had the Phillies number. He's a guy that loves his fastball, has I would say an average breaking ball, but when you mix in the 97, 98 that he throws, you have to gear it up a little quicker, and then he will get some swings and misses at that breaking ball. But he's a guy that the Phillies are going to have to go out and make sure he keeps the ball down, because he likes to elevate that fastball at times, and the Phillies will swing through it.
You know, it's interesting. We look at what the Phillies have done against the starters the last 2 nights. Can they do it again against Cashner? Well, Cashner's numbers have declined. Yes, last year it was because of an elbow injury, but this year his ERA is way higher than what the Padres are used to.
And you don't think it should be. Again, with the stuff that he has pitching in this ballpark, you would expect that ERA to be a little bit lower. But hopefully the Phillies can go up there and swing the bats, take the same approach, and get out of here with a sweep.
I'll tell you, they are a loose bunch right now. Why not? 15-5 since the All-Star break, going for win number 16 here this afternoon against the San Diego Padres. Cashner will be making his 22nd start of the year. And honestly, Jerome Williams' year has not been great, but his career numbers against San Diego are very good, making his 18th start of the season for the Phillies. Well, El Torito has been exciting. The dugout has a buzz going to it right now. It's great to watch. Let's see if it continues with the series finale when we return to San Diego. Phillies baseball is The United States Marines, who have taken a spot out on the playing field at each position, waiting for the arrival of the San Diego Padres, who are just now about ready to take the field. The Marine layer is gone. It is a gorgeous day here in Southern California as the Phils get set to wrap up this 3-game series in search of a series sweep. There's Andrew Cashner out to the mound. He'll be the starting pitcher this afternoon for the San Diego Padres. The Phillies have a little camouflage theme of their own, even if it's very subtle, going out to the bullpen. Hector Neris is bringing all the treats and the water and everything else out to the Phillies pen in left center field. The Padres wearing the camouflage jerseys, which they've done for a number of years on Sunday afternoons. They change the style every single year. Well, Andrew Cashner's going to face a Phillies lineup that is much different and much more productive 1, 2, and 3 since the All-Star break for this Phillies team.
You're exactly right, Tom. You know, we've been, you crunching the numbers and taking a look at what has been different since the All-Star break. 15-5, that's 20 games. It's no longer a fluke. The team is playing good baseball pretty much in every facet. And one of the things that really jumps out at you is the top of the order, the guys that, are setting the table. Since the All-Star break, take a look at some of these numbers. The 3 guys that are at the top of the order, and it's a bunch of different guys that have fit into those positions, but batting .302, 3 home runs, 44 runs scored, 28 RBIs, 25 extra base hits as well. Getting it started and getting it started early, scoring runs early in games, and then good starting pitching and the bullpen coming in and holding those leads. So it's been a complete team effort, but the guys that are at the top of the order have really been starting to set the table, which is exactly what you need from your 1, 2, and 3 guys, and they're able to produce so far in the first 20 games since the break, guys.
All right, Murph. Well, 1, 2, and 3 for the Phillies tonight. Today you can take a look at it. It's brought to you by Xfinity, the official entertainment provider of the Phils. It's Cesar, Odubel, and Michael. That's been the norm for the Phillies since the All-Star break, with maybe a little Ben Revere mixed in there. Ryan Howard bats cleanup, then Jeff Francoeur. Cody Ashley hits 6. The bottom third of Galvis, Ruiz, and Jerome Williams. And they'll face 28-year-old right-hander Andrew Cashner. 4-11 with a high ERA of 4.08.
It is a high ERA, and for the stuff that he has, we talked about in the open, it should be a lot better than that, especially in this ballpark.
110 strikeouts and 128 innings of work. And we take a look at the scouting report on Andrew Cashner.
He's a hard thrower, 93 to 97. You might see that get a little bit higher, depending on how he feels today. 4-pitch pitcher, but he has very good numbers against the Phils.
First pitch of the game, Cesar Hernandez is lifted in the air down the left field line, slicing out of play. Justin Upton gave it a look, so no balls and 1 strike. Honestly, if Upton had curled in and over a little bit more, he might have been able to make that catch. But it's a break for Cesar, who's hitting .285 with a home run and 25 runs batted in. He has 7 extra base hits since the All-Star break. Fastball in there, no balls and 2 strikes. Cesar did not play in game 1 as a starter. Came in late, started yesterday at shortstop, made a couple nice plays. But today he's back at second base with Chase Utley getting the day off. He is 3 for 5 in this series. 1-2 pitch to him. That one just missed. Ryan Blakeney, the home plate umpire, looked like he flinched a little bit.
Cesar had a very good at bat last night, getting the Phillies out to a 4-2 lead with that triple knocking in Chase Utley.
Well, it does seem like he is taking over the leadoff spot. He and Utley, at least Utley, the first 2 games of this series since Ben Revere was traded on to the Toronto Blue Jays. That one's pulled out to right field, a base hit for Cesar. It's pretty remarkable to see what he's done. Ben, it's time now for our Nissan keys to the game.
You excited?
I am beyond excited.
I had 3 today. Get her ready. There you see, Andrew Cashner will throw a lot of fastballs, so the Phillies offense needs to be ready for that heater. So get it ready. Get early outs for Jerome Williams. Maybe he can get in the 7th inning today. And I'll take a broom, please.
Wouldn't be a bad thing. The Phils 5-1 in their last 6 road games, 6-1 in their last 7 road games, after starting 11-37 on the road. They've already won the series, which is their 10th series victory of the year.
But a sweep would be nice, Tom.
Time to get a little greedy. Odubel has hit it in 11 straight. 375 during that stretch. Takes low. 1 ball, no strikes. He's trying to get Cesar into scoring position here and maybe get another early run.
Yeah, but the way he's been swinging the bat, I'd like to see him swing it.
Do you think that was on his own? I guess
do.
We'll find out here.
Unless he just wanted to see a pitch, pick up release point, maybe draw that third baseman in. He did have the bat on his shoulder prior to that. Now he has the bat back up to his normal hand position in his stance.
Yeah, so Larte is in on the grass at third base. One ball, no strikes. Cesar was leaning, and he is just back ahead of the tag by Yonder Alonso. That was pretty close. Pat Murphy is coming up the stairs. I think his hand got in there. I think it was kind of a lazy tag by Alonso. Yeah, he's in.
He's in. That's where you need that left-handed first baseman. Just slam it on him.
I think that if you have a right-handed first baseman, though, they've got to get it quicker. It can't be a sweep. It's got to be boom, boom. There's a line drive base hit to right field. Cesar to second, and he'll hold up there. Kemp's throw is cut off. So back-to-back singles. And Maikel Franco's coming up. The Lucky McDonald's Phillies home run jackpot contestant is Ron DePanthius of Philadelphia. Phillies hit a home run in today's ball game. Then Ron will win $200.
Good luck, Ronald.
Well, this is a good start for the Phils.
Yes, it is.
Maikel Franco coming up. He's 0 for 8 in the series, which is kind of strange to hear. He's only struck out 1 time. He's hit the ball hard a couple of times. In fact, he's flied out to the fence. Pete was talking about that today. Said he was surprised to look down and realize that he was 0 for 8. And it's 1 ball and no strikes.
I'll tell you what, Odubel hit that ball so hard it almost scooted past Upton out there in right field.
A high fly ball, right center field. Venable comes running in. It's not going to be deep enough for Cesar to tag. One out. The constant conversation going on between Juan Samuel and the base runners, most notably Odubel Herrera. They have a lot of conversations. It's almost as if Sammy's talking to his son.
Listen, kid.
Ryan Howard hitting .235 on the year with 19 home runs, 63 runs batted in. He's 1 home run away from his 9th career 20 home run season. I don't think anybody's surprised that when he hits his next one, it'll be 9. Up high, 1-0.
So you get a good hitter's count right there. 1-0 against a guy that's predominantly fastball pitcher. Get a good count. You got to look for your pitch. Just because it's 1-0, it's your count doesn't mean you automatically have to swing. I like to see a little bit more of an aggressive swing by Ryan Howard there.
Yeah, kind of like his home run the other night. That was aggressive. Not because he had home run, but it was an aggressive move on his part. Out of play again. This one off the left field line. And now it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Phillies have not wasted many opportunities. Right now they've got first and second with 1 out. There's Greg Luzinski, right side of your screen. Howard fouls it back.
A good swing there.
Here's the bull. His wife Jean a couple seats away. Scott Palmer running for office. Scott better be careful. He's going to have some rings around his eyes if he wears those sunglasses all day. Howard lays off 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Tell you that last homestand against the Dodgers, they sent up some ribs from Bull's Barbecue. They were delightful. Very good.
Be really impressive if they sent them up here to San Diego. Howard rips it to right field. Kemp going back and can't get it. It's going to go to the wall. Hernandez was frozen at second base, but he's going to try to come home. Herrera will be stopped at third. It's an RBI double by Ryan Howard. It's a 1-0 Phillies lead. Cesar, I think, had a bad angle, so he was only a step or 2 off the second base bag. Herrera had a great angle. He was on the second base bag.
I'd love to hear that conversation between Rock and Cesar and Odubel there. This ball gets bombed. Now, that was a very good. You think it would be a different swing. Watch Rock at the bottom here.
Technique was awesome. Waving and stopping.
You go, you stop. But that was such a different swing. You know, you think it would be a different swing, a 2-2 count, as opposed to a 1-0 count, a more aggressive swing on the 2-2 swing.
Well, you saw that graphic there. 635 extra base hits now for Ryan Howard. He is 5th all time as he passes Del Ennis. He was in a tie with him. Next up on the list is Chuck Klein. No balls and 2 strikes to Jeff Francoeur with the Phillies up 1-0 here in the top of the first. 274 overall for Francoeur, 10 homers, 35 RBIs. And he is down on strikes. First strikeout for Cashner. 2 away for Cody Ashe.
It's about as awkward at an attempt of a swing I think you'll see out of Jeff Francoeur there. Ball just kept running in on him. He didn't know what to do.
Ashe hits it in the air to left field. Going back on it is Upton. And he'll make the catch. Side is retired. The Phils settle for just 1 run here in the first inning. It came on an RBI double by Ryan Howard. We'll go to the bottom of the first. It's the Phillies 1 and the Padres coming up. the manager of the San Diego Padres. Let's take a look at the Padres lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity, the official entertainment provider of the Philadelphia Phillies. Amarista Solarte and Kemp, followed by Justin Upton, Yonder Alonso, and Jed Jerko. And the bottom third of Derek Norris, Will Venable, and Andrew Kashner. They'll face right into Jerome Williams. Great numbers against the Padres during his career. Not so much as far as the season goes. Delivers a strike on the first pitch. He's 3-8 with an ERA of 6.09. Big number right at the bottom of that screen there, Ben. 17 home runs allowed. Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike.
As we take a look at the scouting report on Jerome Williams, he'll sit right at about 90. 4-pitch pitcher. Has a tendency to get a little cutter crazy. Last time against the Dodgers, pretty good breaking ball. I'd like to see him utilize that today as well.
Amarista, who did not play in last night's game, rips one foul down the right field line. Overall hitting .207. 3 home runs, 26 runs batted in. That one's hit foul right at the plate. During the 2015 season, Turkey Hill, the official ice cream of the Phillies, will contribute $100 for each Phillies victory and 5 cents for each carton of Phillies Grand Slam ice cream, sold to support the Phillies youth baseball and softball programs. 1-2 pitch and a liner out towards short, caught by Freddie Galvis, 1 out. So 1 away. Jerome will now face Yangervis Solarte. Jerome has not won a game since the 16th of May when the Phillies beat the Arizona Diamondbacks. The Phillies have won games that he's pitched in, but he just doesn't go that deep.
What he was able to do against the Dodgers his last start, getting out of some really big jams.
Okay, you could tell he struggled because he only won 5 but allowed 1 earned run.
Yeah.
So a lot of deep counts, a lot of base runners, and somehow was able to get out of it. Davey Lopes told me the next day, he said, I'm not surprised by that. He goes, guys like Jerome Williams just give us trouble, particularly if they're around the strike zone.
You get a lot of swings and misses at that curveball, and that's.
Well, they're peppering the left side of the diamond right now. Back-to-back line drives. That one harder than the first one. And they're 2 outs.
Mike Held had nowhere to go.
Thank goodness. On the inside corner, it's 0-1. Kemp grounds one toward the middle. Well, I think if this series is any indication of where you should play Matt Kemp, then Freddie Galvis should be about 10 feet over to where that ball was, because that's the 3rd or 4th hit that he's had, or the 3rd or 4th ball that he's had, and the 4th hit that he's had that's gone right in that spot.
See, I don't understand. Last night they had the shift on with him. Remember, he peppered the ball right past Chase Utley. They had 3 men on the left side of the diamond, and today they didn't. So I'm wondering why it was like that last night and not today.
Here's Justin Upton, 3 for 7 in the series with a triple. Takes low, 1-0. Yeah, Galvis is over toward the hole again for Upton, so maybe it's something to do with the style of the pitcher. You know, maybe that's leading. Although Upton is more of a pull hitter.
Yeah. You know, with Adam Morgan on the mound last night, a lefty.
That one's right at Galvis. So this time he's positioned perfectly. Throws across the diamond, and the side is retired. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 man left. So Jerome's through the first inning. We'll go to the second with the Phils on top, 1-0. On High Tour with the special guests, the Avett brothers. For information or to purchase, go to Phillies.com/country. Zach Brown has been selling out ballparks around Major League Baseball. In fact, I think he sold out 2 dates in New York at Citi Field. They added a second one. So get your tickets now. I'm surprised there's still tickets available for that concert. In fact, it's going to be a busy week of concerts. Billy Joel will be at Citizens Bank Park. Those concerts are sold out. Freddie Galvis fouls it away.
I'm sure the grounds crew loves when those concerts roll in.
Well, if you look out here in San Diego, they had a concert where the stage was out in center field. It's better than it was on Friday, but there was a bare spot out above Will Venable. Well, don't forget, Monday, August 24th is Country Music Night. And if you purchase tickets, if you go to Phillies.com and purchase tickets for Country Night, you'll get that hat, which Ben Davis will be wearing this offseason in a woods near you.
My favorite color. Now I was talking to Bill, their head groundskeeper here the other day. They're having Taylor Swift is coming here, and that will be their 6th concert here.
Really?
6th.
I guess it makes sense. I mean, they have the convention center, but you know, in the summertime or whenever, I mean, this is a beautiful venue.
You know, it's not going to get rained out.
That is true. Carlos Ruiz takes outside. 2 balls, 1 strike. Is he enjoying the fact that there have been 6 concerts here?
He's okay with it.
Carlos fouls it back to the screen. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Today's ball game is also available in Spanish. Just use the SAP button on your television or change the language through the menu on your cable box.
See.
Chopper to third, scooped up by Solarte. I have to imagine there's a little luck involved on that play, although it looked like he knew what he was doing.
I thought for a quick minute it was going to be able to get by Solarte. Reaches over just enough. It is a good play. I thought Chooch had himself one there.
Here's Jerome Williams. Well, that was a quick inning. Phillies go down 1-2-3. Nothing across. Bottom of the second. Phillies lead it 1-0. Ken Giles reflects on his new role as the team's closer, and we'll look back at a warm welcome for Jimmy Rollins in his return to Philly. Watch Phillies Clubhouse presented by Mercedes-Benz Monday night at 6:30 right here on Comcast Sportsnet. Well, the folks in the park are enjoying a nice day. There is Aaron Nola. Looks like he got a fresh haircut.
Tell you what, he gets on the plane. He's no hat. He looks like he's so young.
Well, the man's 22.
I know, but he looks like he's about 15.
Yeah, he does.
Very bright future, that young man.
He gutted it out the other night.
Yes, he did. Great learning experience for him.
Well, Pete said that it showed a lot to him, to Pete, that he was able to, without his best stuff, get through 6 innings.
Yeah, and you know, sometimes it's easy when you're locating. You have your good fastball, good breaking pitch, change up, and you're locating. Everything's great. But when you don't have that command on a given night, it's a great learning experience for him to figure that out, how to pitch. And that's exactly what he did the other night. He pitched. He didn't just throw.
Larry Boa doing some adjusting of the infield and crushing some seeds. Yonder Alonso leads it off. He's 1 for 10 in the series. Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, the Rays have defeated the Mets 4-3, so that opens the door for the Nationals to pull within a half game. Cody Ashe out in left field, comes in. So 1 out for Jed Jerko.
You love saying that name, don't you?
Just think it's so funny to say. fly ball to left field. That's way up there. Cody Ashley backpedals about 5 feet.
Good height on that one.
I guess if you're looking for that, yeah. Here's Derek Norris. Norris is 3 for 8 in the series.
Is this one he juiced right down the middle? Because you only threw 3 pitches thus far?
I guess so.
Castner threw 10 pitches last inning. That was the 4th pitch for Jerome this inning, already with 2 outs.
And Norris is thinking, I got to give my pitcher a little bit more of a breather.
That's always kind of, you know, you go up and you take one right down the middle and thinking, so all I did was give my pitcher another 10 seconds of rest.
Yeah, probably.
Is it really going to matter that much?
And I'm in the hole.
Yeah, exactly.
That had some good movement on it right there. That changeup, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
A little surprised to see Derek Norris back in there today, thinking maybe Austin Hedges would have gotten a start today. One of their prospects, not too much with the bat as Hedges, but very, very good defensively.
Just a bit outside. It's 2-2.
I don't know if you saw, but before the game, Hedges was out here throwing balls from his knees to first, second, and third base. And he has a very, very good arm.
Yeah, Jose Valentin was working with him. 2-2 pitch to Norris. And he fouls it off to the right. Jerome is 3-3 with an ERA of 2.18 against the Padres. In fact, that's the lowest earned run average for him against any team. And among active pitchers, it's the 6th lowest against one particular opponent. Is there a rhyme or reason to it? I can't give you one.
Feels comfortable.
Well, the home plate umpire must have thought that was low. It was in the point of contact with the glove, but it did move down. Here comes the 3-2 pitch to Norris. Chopper left side. Big hop for Maikel Franco. Did it hit his foot? I guess it did. I have to admit, I didn't see that.
Yeah, and you can't really react that quickly if it doesn't hit your foot.
I still don't know if it hit his foot. Maybe the underneath part of it when he turned.
Yeah. Some guys try and play it off, and they just don't do it. Your reactionary response isn't that quick.
Well, so much for a quick inning for Jerome. Cashner now is well rested. In fact, I think he took a nap during this at bat to Norris. This is the 11th pitch of the at bat coming to Derek Norris. What would you do as a catcher? I mean, you've thrown everything you can. He's on everything.
Throw one right down the middle.
See what happens?
Yeah.
So here you go.
I just grab a two-seamer, have the catcher set it right down the middle.
Now he did that for ball 3 that looked like strike 3.
Yeah. I mean, you don't want to get fancy here.
Out toward left center field. That's pretty well hit. Odubel on the run. He's going to get there, and he makes the catch. On the side, he's retired. Well, Jerome Williams wins the battle. It took a little while. It took 12 pitches, and we'll go to the 3rd with Cesar leading it off. Go to the fans section for all the information, and please submit your answer on the subject line. Ben, the question is, who holds the record for most Grand Slams in Padres history?
Most Grand Slams in Padre history.
I think you played alongside this guy.
I did.
Oh, you did?
I believe I know the answer.
Okay.
Could be wrong.
Cesar Hernandez leads it off. He singled and scored his first time. Padres acquired Andrew Cashner from the Chicago Cubs. Is it a deal that they'd like to do over again? Maybe. They traded Anthony Rizzo to the Cubs for Cashner because they liked his velocity. You know, size, velocity, mixture of pitches. And he does throw hard at times, but he certainly hasn't evolved into the pitcher, the frontline pitcher that they anticipated. 24 and 37. His earned run average not bad. But would you rather have Rizzo over at first base? You might want to have him there.
Yeah. But I think if you're a pitching coach, this is the exact type of pitcher that would infuriate you. Knowing that he has the stuff and still carries that big of an ERA. He just shouldn't get hit that hard. Tyson Ross last night. I mean, he really settled down and was just throwing wiffle balls up there. The Phillies offense, after getting those 3 runs, really, I mean, he just started sitting them down left and right. Strikeouts. They weren't able to square up anything.
There's a liner foul down the right field line. Two balls, 2 strikes. Nice battle going on here. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
But again, it's Cesar Hernandez. This 9-pitch at bat thus far. This will be the 10th pitch this at bat. I mean, could you ask for anything more out of a leadoff guy?
And a strike 3 call.
It didn't result positively, but you still 10 pitches.
Well, that was a 95-mile-an-hour fastball there, Murph, and we talked about his velocity. That's what the Padres liked when they acquired him from the Cubs.
Yeah, it's hard not to like a guy who throws that hard, but, you guys were just talking about it. Cashner's probably a perfect example of a major league pitcher that, you see that it's not all about velocity, because when you just look at his velocity, he's among the best in all of the National League. Take a look. Matt Harvey is tops in terms of the speed of his pitches at 96 miles an hour. There you see Cashner 94.8 on average, but then as you guys talked about, you look at his ERA and even what the Phillies were able to do early in this game. If there's no late movement on that ball, if it's coming in straight, major league hitters are going to hit it. So Ben, I agree with you. He probably drives his pitching coach nuts because you see just the raw talent, but it doesn't always translate into success in the big leagues, because these guys, they can hit it no matter how hard it's coming in if it's not moving on the end there.
Well, Andy McPhail, who will take over as the Phillies president at the end of this year, was saying that even since he left the game several years ago and now came back, he is amazed with the amount of guys that do throw 95 miles an hour consistently. Darren Balsley, who's one of the real solid pitching coaches in baseball, is the coach that's probably driven craziest. Here's the 2-2 to Odubel, and he swings through that breaking pitch. So back-to-back strikeouts.
You can see that Castro, he's a big old boy, but he can really sustain that velocity throughout the course of a ball game. He can throw 7 to 9 innings with that velocity. Backup breaking ball here. I think Odubel is just really fooled. Expected that pitch to break more. And looks at that swing. He's a big dude.
6'5", 235 pounds. Michael out toward left center field. That was down on the hands, but Michael still sent it to a fairly deep left center field. 1-2-3 go the Phils for the 2nd straight inning. 8 in a row retired by Cashner. all we do. Call 1-800-JEFF now or visit jefferson.edu. Buy Toyota. Where will Toyota take you? Visit buyatoyota.com to find out. Toyota. Let's go places. And buy McDonald's. Double the lovin' with McDonald's with a double cheeseburger and small fry for just $2.50. McDonald's. I'm loving it. Where's that, Ben, that we're looking at?
That is Coronado Island.
Pretty nice looking place.
It's beautiful over there. Beautiful. Where a lot of the film of the movie Top Gun was filmed. Hotel Del Coronado is over there. Beautiful place.
Will Venable leads things off. That one is popped up on the third base side. Maikel Franco. And one away. And that'll bring Andrew Cashner to the plate.
You know, all my time out here, I never went in the ocean.
The Pacific Ocean?
The Pacific Ocean.
Why?
I've been in the Pacific Ocean before, but well, first and foremost, I go to the beach, I look like Jerome's glove. And secondly, the water's too cold. It's way too cold.
Maybe you can at least, jump in and jump out, so you can say you did it.
I've been in the Pacific Ocean before, but
right,
just
but not here in
here.
San Diego.
Not here in San Diego.
I think you're selling the area short by not doing that. Is the water really that cold here?
Yes. Very cold.
2 balls, no strikes to Cashner, who shows bunt. Take strike one. It's 2-1.
I got to the field a little early on Friday to see some of the old cronies and clubhouse folks, trainers from Padres, and I was walking back, and Chooch was walking in from catching Jerome Williams in the bullpen. It's nice to see a veteran catcher go out and catching bullpens and just stay fresh. Maybe there's something he wanted to look for off Jerome. Maybe he knew he was going to be in there today.
Plus, he isn't playing as much as he used to. Franco tried to barehand that one, but Cashner's going to get a base hit out of it. Second hit allowed by Jerome.
We've seen Maikel make this play time and time again, but this one just jumps up on him. The last minute, couldn't get a grasp. The ball was spinning a little bit.
He was anticipating the ball flying over. So a base runner with 1 out. Here's Amarista. Ground ball to first, knocked down by Howard. And there are 2 outs.
I think if Ryan does come up with that cleanly, he might be able to step on the bag real quickly and make the exchange to Freddie at shortstop. Maybe turn a double play there with Cashner running.
I wonder if it was deceptive to him, if he thought maybe it was hit a little harder than it was. So now Solarte, who lined out to Franco his first time up. Down low, 1 ball, no strikes. Statistically, this has not been a great year for Williams, just by looking at his earned run average, which was 6.09 coming in. But in particular on the road, of his 8 losses, 6 have come on the road this year. He's 0-6 with an 8.02 ERA. It is the highest earned run average for a qualifying pitcher that the Phillies have had since 1930. That's when Lee Sweetlands in 1930 had an ERA of 7.71 overall, which is the highest earned run average for a pitcher in the modern era. 7.71.
Jeez. That was an explosive cutter there. Solarte swinging right over the top.
One ball, two strikes. To the right side. Hernandez up with it as he roams to the left. No runs, one hit, and one man left in scoring position. We are finished with our first 3 innings. Ryan Howard leads it off when we come back. Shredders. Whether you're preserving your best work or safely destroying your most confidential documents, Swing Line and W.B. Mason deliver a cut above the rest. Who but W.B. Mason? Top of the 4th inning here in San Diego. The Phils lead at 1-0 thanks to Ryan Howard's RBI double. Last night it was Adam Morgan who tossed a quality start for the Phils. Went 6 innings. His fastball was better last night than his previous start. 2 runs, 1 earned, and 4 strikeouts over 6 innings. And then the bullpen took over again.
I really liked his changeup last night. Talk about pitching. He pitched a heck of a ball game last night. I saw him at checking out of the hotel this morning. I said, nice job last night. He said, thank you. I said, now enjoy all that cardio you get to do today. He said, at least it's not in Phoenix.
That is true. Temperature in Phoenix is supposed to be 100. Supposed to average 105, but the roof will be closed. Howard doubled his first time up, and he takes strike 1. Another ball into the shifts. 1 out. Jeffrey Coors coming up. Phillies will take on the New York Mets for a 4-game series beginning Monday, August 24th. All 4 of those games are night games at Citizens Bank Park. Tickets can be purchased at any time by going to Phillies.com. Want to know to Frank Coor. Padres wearing these camouflage jerseys. They first started wearing them in 2000. They were criticized heavily when they first started wearing them, but there's such a military emphasis in this area that they thought it would be a nice way to honor the members of the military, the Marines, the Navy, that are based in this general area. So each and every Sunday they wear them here in San Diego. Honestly, ever since they started wearing them, there are a lot of other teams that do wear them from time to time. In fact, your son plays travel baseball. My boys play travel baseball. they had several years where their teams had camouflage jerseys just because the kids liked them so much. Pop up around second base. The shortstop Emerista is under it. And there are 2 outs.
What about a high one? Well, yeah, I remember when they started wearing those. And I was with the ball club then, and I like this pattern a little bit more. I think it's a cooler looking jersey. But I think anytime we as a country can honor our military, we should go above and beyond doing that.
Yeah, and they plan to have even more at this ballpark in the years to come. They're going to make some more renovations to some of the areas to continue to honor. Cody Ashley slaps a bunt up the third base line. That was a beauty.
Couldn't have rolled it out any better.
2-out bunt single. And the baton has been passed now to Freddie Galvis. Ashley's hitting streak now is at 4 games.
Beautiful bunt.
Ground ball, backhanded by Yonder Alonso. Hit sharply, but right at the first baseman. Side is retired. No runs, 1 hit, 1 man left for the Phillies. We're through 3.5. The Phillies on top of the Padres, 1-0. Your local Del Val Honda dealer, or visit DelValHondaDealers.com and buy the Pennsylvania Lottery. Benefits older Pennsylvanians every day. Well, some of the Navy battleships that are here in the San Diego area. There are some pretty sights. Big fireworks show last night out in that general area. Some of us had rooms that were facing those fireworks. I just saw the reflection off the building of the other hotel. Matt Kemp will lead it off as we go to the bottom of the 4th. He takes strike 1. Singled his last time up. One away, another ground ball out. That's 3 in a row. Yeah, that'll bring Justin Upton to the plate. He grounded out to short his first time up. Padres are now 7 games under 500 and 10.5 games off the pace in the National League West. They've lost 5 straight. They're also 10 games back of the wild card. I don't know if they were just trying to be overly positive or unrealistic when at the trade deadline they said they were going for it.
Or maybe they like their pieces moving forward till next season.
Well, that could be it too. Justin Upton is a guy that they probably could re-sign. His contract is up at the end of this year. It's the end of a 6-year, $50 million deal. And you know what? It's a great place to play. His numbers are excellent here at Petco Park. They have the finances to sign him. He's really the only guy that they're potentially going to lose after this year to free agency.
Yeah, I think it's, he's going to make sure that whatever team does sign him, they're going to back the truck up.
Yeah.
He's going to get paid.
Over to third, backhanded by Franco. Long throw. Nothing to it. So 2 away. MLB.TV is the #1 live streaming sports service. You can get every out-of-market game live in true HD. Go to MLB.TV today. Blackout and other restrictions do apply. Here is Yonder Alonso with 2 quick outs. Oh my.
Useful.
Jerome Williams is going to have a very quick 8-pitch 4th inning. He's made it look easy so far through 4 innings today. We'll go to the 5th. Carlos Ruiz will lead things off when we come back. And trivia quiz answer. All right, Ben, I know you know this answer. Who holds the record for most grand slams in Padres history?
Phil Nevin and his M256 model Louisville Slugger.
7 grand slams for Phil Nevin. Log back on to Phillies.com to find out if you're the winner of a Phillies prize pack. Are you shocked to see that he is a manager currently?
I am not. Good mind for the game. Smart. He's a very smart player. Good player.
There's a lot of people that think that he is going to be an excellent major league manager.
I would agree that he would be.
He interviewed for the Astros job this past year that went to A.J. Hinch. He is currently the manager of the Reno Aces, the Arizona Diamondbacks organization. You know the hitting coaches for the Reno Aces?
Who would that be?
Did you play for one Greg Gross?
GG.
That's fouled away.
Two different personalities there. GG very laid back. Phil,
not so much.
Not so much. I'm sure he's toned it down, but when he played, it was a bit temperamental.
Carlos hits it in the air to left center field. Will Venable playing center today for B.J. Upton. And there's one away. The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers Local 98 Phillies Fathead will be given out to all fans on Saturday, August 29th, when the Phillies take on these same San Diego Padres. It's a 13 by 26-inch removable wall graphic featuring the Phillies logos and third baseman Mikel Franco. Tickets can be purchased anytime by going to Phillies.com. Speaking of fatheads, not that he has a fat head, but as Jerome Williams lines one that's caught at shortstop by Alexi Amarista, we would like to send out birthday wishes to one Chris Wheeler, who turns 70 years old today.
Nice.
And there is the present that we gave Wheels for his birthday. That fathead is up all around the ballpark. In fact, that one right there is in the coach's office.
Loved it.
Yeah. We have one in the TV booth.
Pride of Marple Newtown High School.
Yep. James Franklin presented that to him. And we appreciate Coach Franklin doing that. Wheels is currently on a golf course as we speak, enjoying a great day, and we hope he gets a chance to enjoy many more. Happy birthday, Wheels. That is the second fathead that we have of Wheels.
Every time you see it, it's just funny.
1 ball, 1 strike to Cesar. We'd like to thank the folks at Fathead. They were nice enough to make us 5 of those. So if Wheels peeled it down somewhere, we could just put it back up the next day.
Well, 4 just wouldn't do.
Exactly. Swing and a miss, and Hernandez strikes out. So Cesar has struck out twice today, and that is 4 strikeouts for Andrew Kashner, who's allowed 1 bunt single since the first, but nothing for the Padres offensively. Jed Jericho will lead it off when we come back. Citizens Bank's Champions in Action program is a unique program that rewards small organizations that create big changes in the community. To learn about Champions in Action and how to get involved, visit citizensbank.com/community. At Citizens Bank, we want to help you bank better. So the next time you have a question about money, don't keep it to yourself. Ask a citizen. A lot of times when fans come on these trips, they're looking for a win. Even when the Phillies were winning a lot of games, you take these 3-day trips and you wonder, well, how many wins can you get on the road? Well, the Phillies have won the first 2. That's a good road trip.
A good start to a road trip.
We begin the bottom of the 5th inning. Jed Jerko leads it off. Jerome threw 8 pitches in the 4th. Outside.
Jerome not one to wait around a lot out there, but today he seems to have even a brisker pace.
That one is under his glove, but Cesar's there. And 1 out. It's now time for you to tweet your strongest fan photo. Use the hashtag PhillyPhotoDataStrongFan, and you just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast. Brought to you by T-Mobile. I think it's kind of what we talked about last night about the team as a whole. You know, confidence and laughter and excitement. You know, what comes first? You know, the energy in the dugout, the confidence. It's the same thing with Jerome. He's throwing well today, so that keeps his pace going, I would think, a little bit.
Yeah. And the more success you have at doing something, you just want to keep doing it and doing it as quickly as possible.
Yeah, you're not thinking as much. You know, you're getting your signs from your catcher, and then bam.
And that question was posed last night. What comes first, the winning or having fun?
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you right now, it's winning. Winning breeds that. You could have the greatest bunch of guys who get along as well as could be. But if you're not winning, you're not going to be happy. You're not going to be having fun.
Last 2 starts for Williams. Good curveball. That's the slowest. That may be his first one of the day. I don't remember him throwing another curveball like that.
Not with that velocity. Pitch at 71 miles an hour.
Tried a change up that he tried to run back on the outer edge, and it went low. So 1 ball, 2 strikes to Derek Norris. Had a 12-pitch at bat his first time up. Flied out to center field, fairly deep center field. This one out to right field, Jeff Francoeur. And Will Venables coming up.
Now you got to call Will Venables basketball games.
I did. He was a very good basketball player. He went to Princeton to play basketball, not to play baseball. Of course, his dad, Max Venable, was a longtime major leaguer. So he played baseball in high school, not as much as hoops. And then after a year or 2 at Princeton, he decided to give baseball another run. And it's not an easy game to just pick up again.
No, it's not. He's back after having his first child.
Yeah, a little girl. He and his wife, Catherine. That one's fouled off his foot. After playing basketball at Princeton, he went to the baseball coach, Scott Bradley, and said, hey, I'd like to give it a try. And Scott basically said, yeah, come out and hit a little bit. No pressure. Scott said after the first couple of times, he was the best hitter on the team.
All men are not created equally, Tom.
I guess not. 1-2 pitch to Venable. Inside 2-2. Here's the 3-2 pitch to Venable. Over the other way, past the diving Maikel Franco. 2-out single. And the Padres have a base runner for Andrew Kashner. Toyota Major League Scoreboard. The Rockies have defeated the Nationals 6-4. Carlos Gonzalez is on fire. 2 more home runs.
Jeez.
I don't know what's gotten into him. So that means the Mets lead in the division is still at a game and a half. Jerome is reinventing the pickoff game.
Laredo. Well, maybe you can catch him sleeping over there. 2 outs, so he won't be going anywhere.
You're right, Ben?
No mishap there.
Kashner bunts toward third. Franco tries to barehand it. Tell you what, Kashner got up the line pretty good. I don't know if he would have gloved it instead of barehanding it if he would have been able to make the play or not.
He was flying up the line. I think the right play is to glove this baseball. But that big old donkey was moving. Big boy rolling out.
Yeah, they've scored that in E5. So that's the 10th error of the year for Maikel Franco. I think it would have been close if he would have gloved it and thrown it. But you're right, it probably was the better play instead of trying to barehand it. So runners on first and second. 1-0 Phillies here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Williams got the first 2 batters pretty easily. And now a single by Venable with 2 strikes, and then Kashner with a bunt single, or excuse me, a bunt and an error. And there are 2 on with 2 outs. Cutter, and it's 0-2.
Jerome thus far, knock on wood, has been getting that cutter inside where he's not leaving it out over the plate. A lot of swings on it, which they think, I think, no, I got a heater coming in. They're not picking up that rotation. Getting in on the hands of the lefties. The new one.
That one's line caught by Ryan Howard at first to the side. He's retired. So a couple base runners for the Padres, but Jerome works around those two base runners. San Diego leaves 2. We'll leave for the top of the 6th inning. The Phillies up 1-0. Continuing to open eyes of advanced scouts all around baseball. A slow start in May has turned into a sensational summer. Mike Cal is swinging his bat with confidence and is piling up production. He's among all rookie leaders in home runs, doubles, and RBIs. Franco's other game has been on display as well, defending the hot corner at a high level with skill and precision. The Phillies' young third baseman has been a treat to watch. And it's brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. Phillies up 1-0. We go to the top of the 6th inning here at Petco Park. Let's check in with Greg Murphy. Murph.
All right, thanks, Tom. Well, as promised earlier in this game, we have selected the Data Strong fan photo of the game, and today's photo comes from @DrewDavis71. And it came from the last homestand. Hey, welcome back, J-Roll. These Phillies fans excited to cheer on the Phils and see J-Roll back in town with the Dodgers. It was quite a sight when J-Roll stood up to the plate for the very first time back in Philadelphia. Remember, tweet your strongest fan photo, do #PhillyPhoto, DataStrongFan, and you just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast. It's all brought to you by T-Mobile. Guys?
All you have to do is put the fanatic and a cute kid in the photo, and we might use it.
That's right.
1 ball, no strikes to Odubel Herrera. Odubel fouls it off to the left. Odubel today is 1 for 2. He singled his first time up, extended his hitting streak to 12 straight games. He also struck out his last time. Out to right field. That's pretty well hit. Kent going back. It is gone. A long home run for Odubel Herrera. It's his 6th of the season. 2-0 Phils.
Tom, if I'm lying, I'm dying. I was just going to ask you, do you think Odubel could be maybe a 10 to 12 home run type of guy? Because of the way the ball jumps off his bat. I think there's your answer. This swing is pretty. Heater's supposed to be away. Gets it middle in and launches. Peace it.
Boy, that is a long home run. Woo. Makes a winner out of Ron DePenthius of Philadelphia. He's just won $200 thanks to the McDonald's home run jackpot.
Way to go, Ron.
Tonight's Sunday. Franco takes a strike. It's 0-1. Franco is 0 for 2, 0 for 10 in the series.
That ball was killed.
425 feet is the estimated distance. I mean, none of these home runs have been cheapies by the Phillies. One pitch to Franco. Outside, 2-1.
Give you a little update on Larry's back, Tom. It's not getting any better.
Did you just ask him?
I did. I said, how you feeling, buddy? He said, not good.
Larry Anderson is having a little back problem. He thought it was better 2 days ago, right? But today woke up and it's not good. Three-two pitch to Franco. That one's lined out to center field. Venable got a nice jump on it to make the catch. Odubel is still getting congratulated in the Phillies dugout for his home run. .95 hits now for Odubel Herrera. Howard lays off. 1 ball, no strikes. Check swing. Now they'll go back to Cashner. And there are 2 outs here in the top of the 6th inning.
Very frustrating as a hitter to do that. I feel like breaking something immediately. Not that I recommend that. I think Frenchie had it in his mind that he was going to swing at that one no matter what.
Even if it was a cricket ball.
He's just setting him up, Tom.
There's a rip.
Told you.
To left field. And Francoeur has another hit. That streak continues.
I don't know, Ty. He swings at a 55-footer, and then he throw him a fastball. Glad he did. Glad it worked out for him. But
might have been better off going farther outside on that.
Yeah, I don't get it. Unless Cashner's thinking that Francoeur is thinking, just throw another one.
There's probably a lot of that going on. Outside, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike. That one's pulled on 1 hop to second base. Phillies are retired, but they do tack out another run on a solo home run by Odubel Herrera. Phillies have 5 solo home runs in this series. Odubel's homer is 6th of the year. He clobbered it 425 feet from home plate. And we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. 2-0. Phil's on top. Ford stores. Go further. By Xfinity, the official entertainment provider of the Philadelphia Phillies. And by Nissan. Choose Nissan today for great offers on our most exciting lineup ever. Shop Nissan.com. Along with Ben Davis and Greg Murphy, I'm Tom McCarthy. Murph has returned to the dugout perch because the sun is no longer on that side of the field, at least where he's sitting.
You have figured me out, Tom.
Yeah. So Solarte leads it off. He's 0 for 2. Solarte's lined out. He's also grounded out. Murph, I know you've walked around the ballpark. Anything stand out about Petco Park that you like?
Well, I'll tell you what. I mean, you can't beat the park in the park out there. If you have kids and you want to come watch a baseball game, that is like the perfect place to bring them. You get kids throwing sand at each other and burying each other in the sand, and mom and dad are able to watch the game. It's perfect.
Now you can watch it just sitting there, but there's also a TV in the back, right?
That's right. You can watch it on the big screen behind the batter's eye.
It's kids fest.
I was hanging out on the beach there for a little bit. Now I look like Jerome's glove.
1-2 pitch inside, 2-2. Well, there are a lot of nice spots here, even at this ballpark. I mean, Murph's talking about the park in the park and the beach out in right center field. The Western Metal Supply Company building. Boy, wicked cutter. Swing and a miss, and there's one away. There's the Western Metal Supply Company. Now, Murph and I have both been up top on that building, and it's a great place to watch the game. Now sponsored by Toyota.
Let's go places.
Yeah. Here's Matt Kemp outside. 1 ball, no strikes.
Jerome, 15 of 21 now. First pitch strikes. Pretty good percentage there. 77 total pitches with 54 of them being strikes.
There's got to be something subconsciously in his head about pitching against the Padres. This is a totally different team than the last one he faced, and even the ones before that, but still has very good numbers against them. Could be the ballpark, could be the weather, could be so many things. I mean, it's very difficult to break a sweat out here. I mean, the temperature's generally in the 70s.
I said Derek Norris, surprised he was back in there today catching. You know, it just doesn't take a lot out of you, this weather. Able to bounce back quickly.
Another foul ball, 2-2. Good changeup. Kemp strikes out. Back-to-back strikeouts for Jerome. Now that'll bring Justin Upton to the plate. Toyota's Larry Boa bobble figurine will be given out to all fans on Tuesday, August 18th. It's a celebration of Larry's 50 years in baseball. It's all part of the Blue Jays series, quick 2-game series. Get your tickets now by going to Phillies.com. Hopefully the Blue Jays will be cooled off by then.
These boys can swing it.
Pretty good chance that they're going to win the American League East. I mean, they've been that good.
Won again today.
Beat the Yankees 2-0 behind Marco Estrada.
Any relation to Eric?
I don't think he's related to Eric Estrada. Or Johnny Estrada. 3-hit ball today for Marco Estrada through 7 innings. Blue Jays pitching held the Yankees scoreless for the last 26 innings of that series. That's amazing. That offense.
Yeah, that Yankees ball club, very veteran-laden ball club, especially that offense. So you're thinking maybe some of the vets get a little tired. Bat speed slows down a little bit. Maybe they stop producing as many runs.
Inside. I don't know if you watched some of the highlights of the game, but Jose Bautista hit a home run, his 26th of the year, and a Yankee fan decided to throw the ball back, and he hit Brett Gardner with it. There's a high fly ball deep to left field. Towering long home run for Justin Upton. And the Padres are on the board, so it's now a 2-1 ball game. 19th home run of the year for Justin Upton. That there was majestic.
It's the epitome of a moonshot here. It's a fastball up. You see Jerome not with a whole lot of finish, down and through in his delivery. This goes in the second tank. Just a very good swing by Justin. And Jerome, well, he knew that was going to go.
First home run to left field in this series. Here's Yonder Alonso. He's 0 for 2. First pitch outside, 1-0. Tapper back to the mound. And the Phillies will maintain a lead, even though the Padres score for the first time today. Home run by Justin Upton has made it a 1-run ball game. So we'll go to the 7th. It's the Phillies 2, Padres 1. It's time now for your Delaware Valley Honda Dealers game summary. The Phillies lead it 2-1. Odubel Herrera has had a single and a home run. His hitting streak is at 12 games. Jerome Williams, 1 earned run over 6. We begin the 7th, and it's a strike to Freddie Galvis, who is running up in the box. And it's 0-1.
Derek Norris not even catching that ball, but still being called a strike.
Out of play, 0-2.
See, I don't like what Freddie did there that first pitch. Unless you're really going to do it.
Yeah, in essence, you've wasted a pitch.
Yeah.
0-2 to Freddie. And he hits it out toward left field. That'll drop in for a base hit.
I love when he does that on the first pitch.
And then it leads to that.
It leads to a knock. Terrible pitch there by Cashner.
And he knows it too.
Terrible pitch.
Padres have a righty and a lefty warming up. Zepchinski is the lefty. And Brandon Maurer is the right-hander. There goes the runner. The pitch is lined the opposite way, a base hit. A little hit and run. Galvis on his way to third. He'll get there easily. And the Phillies have first and third with nobody out.
Textbook.
Great job by Carlos Ruiz.
It's a perfect time to put it on because you know with Jerome Williams hitting behind Chooch, they're not going to be bunting Carlos Ruiz there. So they put the hit and run on. Chooch as good as anybody. Right-handed hitter hitting behind the runner, using that hole perfectly.
Right now, though, you do want to try to put a bunt down, wouldn't you?
Yes.
But Ruiz needs to get a good jump off first because they could get a force play at second. Freddie could read this as well, depending on where the bunt is. The infield in. Not all the way, but in for the Padres. And Jerome bunts it toward the right. Oh, it's a beauty. Sacrifice is successful. Perfectly executed for Jerome to get Carlos up to second base. 3-4 on the putout. One away. And now Cesar Hernandez. Here comes Pat Murphy. Cashner's got his hand on his hip. I don't think he's going to be happy about this, but I believe Murphy's going to go to the bullpen. Yep, he's going to bring in a right-hander to replace the big right-hander. So a pitching change here in San Diego. The Phillies lead it by 1. They've got a couple of runners in scoring position. We'll be back with Cesar Hernandez's at bat right after this. Plays of the game brought to you by GMC.
The hit and run perfectly executed. Freddie Galvis first to third. Chooch with a great job of hitting behind the runner there. And then Jerome Williams deadens this ball perfectly. Yonder Alonso has to come in to make the play to Jerko. And they are your GMC precision plays of the game.
Pat Murphy's decided after those plays that Andrew Cashner has had enough. He has scattered 8 hits over 6 1/3. So he'll bring in another righty. It'll be Brandon Maurer in his 53rd game. And he'll face the left-handed hitting Cesar Hernandez. The infield is in.
I just don't like this move.
Yeah, Cashner had struck Hernandez out the last 2 times. 0-1.
They're only 89 pitches. You know, the hit he got in the first inning was on a breaking ball. Then afterwards, he really had his way with Cesar with a lot of fastballs.
I don't think he was too happy, too, when Pat Murphy came out. Cesar hits it sharply past the diving second baseman Jerko. 1 run is in. They'll hold Ruiz at third. It's an RBI single. 3-1 Phillies on top. Well, managers live and die with their decisions. They felt like it was time to bring Cashner out of the game. And Cesar Hernandez makes him pay.
Well, put yourself in Andrew Cashner's shoes. Okay, second, third, they're his runners. I'm a strikeout pitcher. They're my guys out there. Let me get out of this. I worked myself into it. Let me get myself out of it.
Well, this is the last time Herrera was up. He was bringing the lumber. Brought to you by Yellowwood Pressure Treated Pine.
And then some. Fastball. Up and in, supposed to be down and away. And Odubel, El Torito, deposits the ball in the right field stands.
Well, they're going to lift the right-hander, Mauer. And they're going to bring in the lefties, Chinsky. Andrew Cashner still on the hook for 1 more run. Right with Ellis, Mealy, Brooks, and Baker, plus special guests Derek Gunn and John Feinstein. Breakfast on Broad presented by Virtua Joint Replacement Institute. Weekday mornings from 6 until 8 over on the Comcast Network. I'm sure they'll also talk about this 3-game series between the Phillies and the Padres and the way the Phillies have played during the second half of the season. Right now they lead at 3-1, and Mark Zebczynski will take over for Brandon Mauer. Zebczynski so far 5 games for the Brewers, or excuse me, for the Padres. 3 strikeouts, 3 innings pitched. Cesar Hernandez just had an RBI single that has given the Phils a 2-run lead again. Odubel batting with the infield in. Carlos over at third. This may be just one batter for Zebczynski, because with Franco on deck, depending on what Herrera does here, They have another right-hander warming up in the bullpen. Swing and a miss. 1-2.
Unless they get into a situation, with the one out where there's an open base, put Franco on, face Howard.
Quackenbush warming up in the pen.
Odubel really just wanting to stay in the middle of the field here. Chooch most likely going on contact. Should take as much as Solarte will give him off the third base bag.
Ball, 2 strikes. Outside, 2-2.
You have to be in protect mode. Anything close.
Swing and a miss. 2 outs. Well, he seemed to be no match for Zepchinski there. Maikel Franco is coming up. We're going to walk him intentionally and then face Ryan Howard. So Franco, who's hitting only .210 against lefties, will be walked intentionally to load the bases. Cashner so far charged with 3 runs. He had 6 in the third. And ball 4. Star Wars Night is Wednesday, August 19th, when the Phillies take on the Toronto Blue Jays. Come dressed as your favorite Star Wars character and be entertained by Star Wars characters, music, movie clips, and more. Go to Phillies.com/theme nights for more information. Well, here's Ryan Howard, the franchise's all-time leader in grand slams. He has the bases loaded. Phillies aren't necessarily looking for, but would accept a grand slam. They would just love a base hit, because you look to the outfielders, Venable and Kemp are both deep in center and right. Now, they could easily score 2 if he pulls it that way. Outside, 1-0.
Yeah, hit anywhere. Anywhere. You can get 1, maybe 2 more runs across the plate. Maybe 4.
Jerome would love a couple more runs. His bunt helped set up this inning for the Phils. Ryan just asked the home plate umpire if that was a good pitch. It wasn't. Looked like it was down and in.
Good command on both sides of the plate right now. You got to be looking heater.
1-2 pitch to Howard. In the dirt, blocked by Norris.
Matt always says, no man is quick enough to sit on off speed and adjust to a fastball. So you always have to be looking heater. And he adjusts to the breaking pitch. Good play there by Norris. Keep it in front.
Howard strikes out, so back-to-back strikeouts against left-handers for Zebchinski. Sandwiched around the intentional walk. The Phillies do score one. Time to stretch here in San Diego. And 2 RBIs and 2 runs scored. So it's been a productive day for the first 2 batters at least. Every time the Phillies retire the opposing team 1, 2, 3, Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies charities. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity, the official entertainment provider of the Philadelphia Phillies. Jerome Williams has a 3-1 lead to work with as we move to the bottom of the 7th inning. The Phillies would love for him to go at least 7, if not more. Help rest that bullpen, which has done a heck of a job in this series. And he'll face Jed Jerko, Derek Norris, and Will Venable there in the bottom of the 7th. This is, I mean, obviously the best outing we've seen from Jerome, and gosh, since probably the month of April, maybe early May.
It's just when he's missing, he's not missing up, out, over the plate. I know it's easier said than done. You never want to miss there, but Jerome seems to have, in those bad outings, you always seem to have that one inning that just killed him. But when he's missed down, he's missed off the plate, he's missed off the plate inside, which has been very effective for him.
First pitch to Jerko is swung on and missed. It's 0-1. Jerko's 0 for 2. He's flied to left. He's grounded out to second base. In the dirt, 1-1. Into the Phillies dugout, 1-2. Phillies do have bullpen action just in case in this inning. Araujo and Neris are both warming up. That one's back toward the middle, but playing out there is Cesar Hernandez. Boy, perfectly placed. 4-3 on the putout, one away. It's time for the Major League Notebook, Murph.
All right, thank you, Tommy. Brought to you by St. Joseph's University, and some injury updates. Jose Fernandez, we told you yesterday, having an MRI on his sore shoulder. He had that today, and it shows a inflamed biceps tendon, so he is going to go on the DL, but it's actually pretty good news. The team said they're happy that, at those results, and they hope that he'll be back as soon as that inflammation goes away. David Wright also starting a rehab assignment on Monday. They think he'll be down there for about 10 days at Port St. Lucie. After that is over, they hope that he'll return to the middle of that Mets lineup. And you guys were talking about the New York Yankees being shut out on consecutive days. Well, that's the first time that's happened since 1999, May of 1999. That is the longest streak in Major League Baseball history, a team being not shut out consecutive days. That ended today. The Toronto Blue Jays are red hot. They are 1.5 games behind those New York Yankees, and they are 11-0 with Troy Tulowitzki in that lineup. The only game that they've lost since he's been there, he didn't play. They're 11-1 since he's got there, 11-0 with him in the lineup. So they are red hot indeed. That is your Major League Notebook, brought to you by St. Joseph's University. Guys?
Murph, I have to say that although I like the green shirt for Happy St. Practice Day, you're standing out in that sea of red.
I am indeed.
Cody Ashley going back toward the fence. He jumps and he makes the catch. What a play by Cody. 2 outs here in the 7th. I would think everybody that you're sitting with enjoyed that.
Do we like that? That was pretty good, right? Yeah. I'll tell you, this group of 100-plus fans that came out with the Phillies trip are enjoying this. We were just talking about the weather, which is awesome, but they've seen some pretty good baseball as well, and that was a terrific catch by Cody Ashley.
Yeah, he robbed him of a home run. It's a shorter fence out there in left field, and he went above the fence with his glove to pull that back.
Jerome acknowledging Cody Ashley's play, and I tell you what, Cody may have saved that lady's life out there in left field. She wasn't exactly ready for that home run.
Will Venable shows bunt, takes a strike. It's 0-1. Venable single today. He's also popped to third. Inside and low. Murph, how's the bull holding up out there?
Bull's down at the other end. I see Gene down there, and I think he's holding up all right. He's got Scott Palmer there to help him out.
So Ben was just talking about with that ball. The lady was a little concerned about that ball coming back toward her. Cesar backhands and flips, and it's not in time. Venable was moving. He just didn't have enough on that throw. 2-out single. And Brett Wallace will come up as a pinch hitter. Well, the Phillies have Araujo warming up in the bullpen, but it looks like they're content to allow Jerome to come in or stay in and pitch to the lefty. Jerome has allowed 5 hits this afternoon. Wallace hitting .289, 2 homers, 7 RBIs. And they throw him a first pitch changeup, and he swings over top of it. 0-1.
Yeah, Wallace not looking for that one.
Nope.
Chooch and Jerome knowing that, come up in this situation, you can be ready to hit.
Runner goes. Pitch is swung on a miss. Throw to second base. Not in time. Venable steals his 10th. Scoring position with the count 0-2.
Nothing Chooch could do here.
May even been one of those plays where you just eat it. You know you're not going to get them. You don't want to risk throwing it in center field by rushing.
You think a changeup again here? He's thrown 2 in a row.
Make sure it's way off the plate.
Swing and a miss. 3 straight changeups. Wallace is struck out. Side is retired. No runs. 1 infield hit. 1 man left at second base. The Phillies and the Padres are through 7. And the Phillies lead it 3-1. B. Mason, you can't go wrong when you buy right and buy Chevrolet. Visit your local dealer at ChevyDealer.com. Well, what a day for the Phils and for Jerome Williams. They lead it 3-1. We go to the top of the 8th inning. They're 6 outs away from pulling off a sweep of the San Diego Padres. This is by far, it's not even close, the best outing of the year for Jerome Williams.
And he's doing it with all his pitches. Fastball command has been excellent. Good run on that sinker. The changeup, I think, is really the pitch that has set him apart today. That and also the cutter. The cutter's been able to get in on lefties. You see it there. It's late. It's hard. Another changeup there to Kemp. He's doing it with a myriad of pitches.
So his last 2 outings, last outing went 5 innings, allowed 1 earned runs. Today, 7 innings, 1 earned run. He battled through the last outing. This one, I mean, he's battling, but he looks so much more comfortable. So here's the breakdown of pitches that he's thrown today. 21 changeups, as you mentioned. The cutter number is a little higher than I thought, but it's been good.
I said at times in the open, you know, he will get cutter crazy from time to time, but when it was that good, might as well keep throwing it.
Kevin Quackenbush is the new pitcher, as you see,
which we now know is a Dutch name.
That is correct.
A lot of folks reaching out the other night.
Francoeur fouls it back to the screen. Out to right field, playable for Matt Kemp. It's not deep. Cody Ashew had a wonderful defensive play in the top, or excuse me, in the bottom of the 7th inning, as he continues his evolution as the left fielder for the Phillies. He is 1 for 3 in this game. Pulls that one foul. 2-2 to Cody.
Grow a beard like that, Tom?
Probably take me a long time. There's a line drive down the right field line. That's a foul ball. I don't think it's fair, though, that you could grow a beard like that, but not grow hair on the top of your head.
That is a thick one.
Got some family in town to enjoy today's game.
It's all the rage, Tom.
Beards like that?
Could be a few birds in there.
Outside, 3-2. It's all part of the Duck Dynasty generation. Or an ode to Santa Claus.
Good AB by Cody. Hopefully he can scratch out a hit here.
Spins it foul behind home plate.
Catchers are taking some abuse this series.
Yes, they are.
Boink. This one of the straight on variety.
I don't know. That looks like it's a little more uncomfortable than just banging your head on a cabinet.
You're right.
Another foul ball by Cody. As he stays alive. Count remains 3-2. Jerome does have a bat. He's not due up for a couple more hitters. There is bullpen action for the Phils. He's not going to use Darren Ruff's axe bat. That hit him on the leg, and Cody is aboard. They couldn't just walk him.
Do all that work and you end up drilling the guy in the kneecap.
Well, speaking of Cody, it's our defensive play of the game, brought to you by Hyundai.
Cody goes back on this baseball, leaps up, saves a lady's life, saves a run, does it all. Jerome Williams very happy with Cody's effort, and that is your Hyundai defensive play of the game, brought to you by your local Hyundai dealers.
Young lady's a little calmer now out there in the outfield.
Whew, that reaction was, it was straight panic.
Look at that look.
Watch her. She's like, oh, what do I do? I'm sure her husband would have intervened there.
I think he was going the other way. The other way. That's a bloop down the left field line. Upton comes running in. He's not going to get there. He takes it on a hop. And Freddie Galvis has his second hit of the day. Phillies have first and second with one out here in the 8th inning. Well, you're going to take it. That's now 10 hits for the Phils. And Carlos Ruiz is coming up.
Heck yeah, you'll take it. Take 200 of those a year.
Carlos does have a hit today in 3 official at-bats. Got a good pitch to hit there.
He went after it.
Chase Utley is out of the on-deck circle to pinch hit. Chase is about 10 feet from home plate. How close he is to the plate.
He is.
Opposite way. Flag down by Jerko to second for one. Over to first. Not in time. Carlos able to leg it out. Nice play by Jerko and Amarista. 2 outs. The fielder's choice. Pat Murphy's up on the top step, and then he wanders back down.
That was a good play all the way around. Good play to get to it, A, but B, to make that good feed. Amarista just a bit tardy. Maybe.
All right, so the Phil's inning is alive. First and third with 2 men down, and Chase Utley will be the batter. Utley's had a good series. He had 2 doubles in last night's ball game. 3 hits overall. His numbers as a pinch hitter. Hector Neris will be the new pitcher for the Phils at the bottom of the 8th inning.
Another run here would be nice.
In the dirt, 1 ball, no strikes. Nice play by Norris. That one's pulled past the diving Yonder Alonso down the right field line. 1 run is in. Ruiz going to third. Being waved by Mizarok. He's going to score. Utley stops at second. It's a 2-run pinch hit double. And the Phils lead it 5-1.
Well, I said another run would be nice. I wasn't banking on 2 more.
They want a little El Torito from Chase Utley out at second base.
You got a better chance of it snowing today. Yeah, fastball. I'm telling you, that couldn't have split the plate anymore. Chase gets on top, rifles it down the right field line. Probably could have gotten a third, but why risk it? With 2 outs, you're in scoring position.
Freddie Galvis is making sure that Carlos Ruiz catches his breath and cools down a little bit before he goes back out there. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 saves are with a runner at second base. Check swing.
Well, I guarantee you that last 90 feet for Chooch was directly uphill.
I was surprised how long it took Kemp to get to the ball in the corner. Give Carlos credit, too. He was able to beat out that double play, which kept the inning alive. Swing and a miss. Cesar struck out for the 3rd time today, but the Phils tack on 2 more. A 2-run pinch hit double by Chase Utley. Chase rips it past the first baseman Yonder Alonso. Boy, the whole ball club is into the way this team has played. Did he do it? I guess you give him the nod.
And even a smile.
At Petco Park. ShopRite back-to-school lunch bag free to fans 14 and under will be given out on Sunday, August 30th, when the Phillies take on the San Diego Padres. Tickets can be purchased anytime by going to Phillies.com.
How was your workout today, Tom?
It was good. I was in there with Scott Profrock. I was not in there with that young lady. I didn't ride the bike, though. Although I could have.
Nice little sweat.
Yeah, I could have rode it. Rode the bike. I decided to do the elliptical.
I saw you on my way to Mass today. You had a good little lather going.
Let's try to work out the food intake that I was going to have today here at Petco Park. Hector Neris is the new pitcher. How about being over there doing the workout? They're outside, aren't they? Neris delivers a strike. 1-1. Two balls and one strike to Amarista, who is 0 for 3. Hit it sharply the last 2 times to Ryan Howard. Phillies bullpen is a little short today. They would like to keep the ball out of the hands of Genmar Gomez. Popped up to shallow left center field. And it drops. Herrera and Ashe miscommunicate on that. Well, that's really the first mistake the Phillies have made in this series. Let's hope it doesn't come back and haunt them. It'll be a misplayed double for Amarista.
That's why you run balls out. Exactly the reason you run balls out. If Odubel calls it, it's his ball. You know, Cody just needs to get out of the way. Center fielder always has priority in the outfield.
Yeah, and it looked like Cody did get out of the way. Maybe it was a little late, but he did get out of the way. I think Odubel sensed him in the area. It is true, though, Ben. That's really the first mistake they've made. What has been a very clean series. Solarte now the batter. He's 0 for 3. He's lined out, grounded out, and struck out. A foul ball, and it's 0-1.
I give Neris credit for getting back into that count. Did have a 3-1 count. The last thing you want to do in a situation like that is walk somebody, especially the leadoff man. The team goes out and puts up a few runs. Can't be given free passes, but he did get back in the count and got a fly ball.
0-1 pitch outside. Little mechanical deficiency right now for Hector Neris. One ball and 2 strikes. Right past Carlos Ruiz. Over to third base goes Amarista. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Bob McClure to the phone. Araujo is warming up. Say mechanical deficiency. It just looks like Neris is opening up a little bit too much as he comes to the plate with that front shoulder. He's trying to throw it through the wall. And a line drive base hit it to right field, so a run is in. An RBI single for Solarte. Matt Kemp is coming up.
Yeah, if you consistently miss arm side, that leads me to believe that you're flying open with that front shoulder. That wild pitch, I think he overcompensated and tried to get out in front more and just held on to it a little too long. Cheech going out the mound and stall a little bit, give Elvis a little more time to get going.
Yeah, Bob McClure was about to go out, but maybe he's just going to save it for the time being.
Justin DeFreitas up as well.
Yeah, that tells you that Garcia, Genmar Gomez unavailable today. Well, coming into this ball game, the Phillies bullpen last 20 games a 1.82 ERA. Now Bob's going to go out and talk to Neris. They're going to continue to give DeFreitas and Araujo some extra time out in the bullpen to warm up. There they are. Well, those 2 runs are huge right now that Chase Utley just drove in. Well, speaking of Chase, just as the inning was about to start, look at this youngster sheepishly wandering over. Chase called him over. The youngster walks over with a pen and a cap. Chase asks the young man, says, "What's your name?" And he says, "Chase." He said, "That's a pretty good name. Look at him." Oh, he smiled at second base. Signs an autograph for a young guy. That's pretty cool.
It's awesome. Everything what a baseball player should do and be right there.
Big time baseball player. 1 ball, no strikes to Kemp. That little guy not only has the same name, but now he's got his name on the cap. 1 ball, no strikes to Kemp. 2-0.
Full count on the first 2 hitters he's seen, and Amarista and Solarte. Now 2-0 on Kemp.
Got to be careful here. You do have a 3-run lead. Check swing. Oops. They thought that Ken Giles was available today. So we'll assume for the time being that he is. Popped him up. Ruiz off of the mask. That'll be back into the seats. And it's 2-2. Phillies have the best record in baseball since the All-Star break. They're trying to add to that here. 15-5. It's been an amazing turnaround. Oh, what a catch by the ball girl.
Outstanding. She tips her cap.
Yeah, she should. It was an outstanding grab.
Freddie's out there clapping for her.
Here we go. Take a look.
Get up. Saving lives. That's what she's doing.
Seriously, I mean, that ball was going in hot. Swing and a miss. He got him. 1 away.
Boy, that's a big out. I mean a big out. Got Chooch in the backswing as well. See that late movement though? It's late movement, and it only moved, I'd say, maybe 6 to 8 inches. Not a whole lot.
Upton homered his last time up. He's 1 for 3. 2 ground outs and a home run. Inside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Dale Thayer's in the bullpen. Ground ball to third. Franco's up with it. They get 1 at second, over to first, and it pulls Howard off the bag. 5-4 in the play at second base. Fielder's choice. Boy, they had him too.
They did. It wasn't tailor-made, but it was pretty darn close. Solarte going in there hard on Hernandez. Still a play that needs to be completed. This time of the ball game, this situation, get out of here with just 1 run. Actually, Cesar just yanked it.
Yonder Alonso is grounded out twice. He's also flied to left. In there for strike 1. Fly ball, shallow left field. Cody Ashley running in. He's there. Side is retired. So the Padres get just 1. They leave 1. They get a couple base hits. We'll go to the 9th inning. It's the Phillies 5 and the Padres 2. Time now for our WB Mason delivery of the game. How about Chase Utley with 4 hits since coming off the DL?
Gets a fastball up in the zone, rifles it down the right field line. Nice job of pinch hitting, wouldn't you say, Tom?
Nice job.
Scores 2 runs, gets even a little smile and a little El Torito. And there, your WB Mason delivery of the game.
Dale Thayer, 37th ball game, the former closer for the Padres, will take over here in the top of the 9th inning. Two and 2 with a 4.29 ERA. He'll face Odubel Herrera, Maikel Franco, Ryan Howard for the Phils. Odubel has 2 hits today. He homered back in the 6th inning. That was his 6th home run of the year.
So the Padres clubhouse today, when Dale Thayer walked in, he looked like he just got off the set of Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Odubel punts it toward third. This is why going out being another base hit. Oh, he's out at first base. That's a heck of a play by Solarte. They may ask to have this one reviewed. Pete Maccannon's coming up the stairs.
Dana DeMuth punched him out here, but I think he may have gotten him, Tom.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be. I think he was going to eat it. I didn't think he was going to make the throw, but he made a heck of a throw.
It was a good play. The butt could have been a little softer. We'll take a look here.
It's really close. I couldn't tell if his foot was on the bag. Nope, he's out. Good call. 5-3 on the putout. Excellent play by Solarte. And here is Maikel Franco, 0 for 3. Hitless in this series, 0 for 11. Look at Alonso's foot. Does it stay on the base? It does. And Odubel's foot is not on the bag when the ball arrives in the glove. Down the right field line, that'll slice out a play, and it's 1-2.
Now, usually you would have the first baseman, especially a right-handed first baseman, well, a right-handed first baseman, with his right foot on the bag. The throw coming from that angle, you got to keep your left foot on the bag to go after it there. That's why all the way around it's just so much easier having a left-handed first baseman.
Off the end of the bat.
Get an old port sider over there.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Swing and a miss. Breaking ball and a strikeout for Maikel Franco. 2 outs. And here comes Ryan Howard.
Maikel 0 for San Diego. That's not good. Seems like he's just like his front foot is out farther than it normally is. Not foot in the bucket so much, but just really pulling off of some pitches.
Well, he doesn't go through a lot of sustained slumps, so kind of expect that he'll break out of it in Arizona. Howard fouls the first pitch from Thayer. It's 0-1. Stryker getting himself ready to go back out on the field. Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Ryan wants that one back. A good rip at it. Watch this pitch. I don't know why we do it as hitters, but you get a pitch that's that good, and we just think we have to give it a little bit more.
Instead of just letting the bat take care of it.
That's it.
Ground ball up the first base line. Nice play by Alonso again. Phillies go down in order here in the ninth inning. Little defense from the Padres. So we'll go to the bottom of the ninth. Ken Giles coming on to try to close the door on yet another save in a series sweep for the Phils.
Diego 5-2 as we head to the bottom of the ninth. Ken Giles time for the Phils, and when this one is all said and done, guys, off to Arizona go the Phils. Here are your pitching matchups. Monday night it'll be Aaron Harang taking on De La Rosa. That game's at 9:40 Eastern time. And on Tuesday night it'll be David Buchanan and Jeremy Hellickson. Hellickson at 7-7, a 4.95 ERA. And on Wednesday, an afternoon game, 3:40 Eastern time, Aaron Nola will take the ball for the Phils against the left-hander Robbie Ray. But this one's not over yet. So 3 more outs.
All right, 3 more outs for Ken Giles to get. Giles trying to pick up another save for the Phils. First batter that he'll face is Jed Jerko. Jerko today is 0 for 3. He's grounded out twice. He's flied out to lefts. Fastball in there, 96 on that fastball. Yeah, that's 1 ball, 1 strike. These tests that Giles has had are similar to his tests as a setup man. The amount of times he's had to work. That one is lined out toward left center field, and it'll be drop in for a base hit. Fielded on one hop by Cody Ashley. Well, coming up after the ballgame, Ricky Metallico will deliver his analysis, break down today's finale between the Phils and the Padres. Only on Cure Auto Insurance presents Phillies Postgame Live. Phillies at Petco Park, 29-10. They've had 5 sweeps of 3 or more games, and they're trying to sweep the Padres here. Derek Norris will be the batter. A win today would also move Pete Mackanin to the 500 mark as the skipper of the Phils. He's 18-19. That's remarkable in its own right, considering that they were kind of in a fog the first few games that he managed, and then went 2-8 on the West Coast trip immediately after being hired. Here's the 0-1 pitch coming to Norris. Up high.
And he seems like he's enjoying it.
Oh, I think he's definitely enjoying it. Slider, strike 2.
I would enjoy a double play here.
Fans are not happy about that call. That was a strike. I think they were just feeding off the reaction by Norris. Well, maybe it was a little low.
Norris on that fastball there at 98. Let's see Giles either stretch this maybe a little bit farther outside or go back to that slider.
Strike 3 called. He did go back to the slider. 1 out here in the 9th inning. 5 strikeouts today for Phil's pitching.
Just a slider. Didn't swing at the first one. That was questionable. Slider, that is. Didn't swing at that one. I don't think he's seen the rotation on that, Tom.
Will Venable. Melvin Upton out in the on-deck circle. Runner goes. Pitches a strike. That'll be defensive indifference. Jerko was not being held on. Foul ball, 0-2. A reminder, we will be in Arizona tomorrow, 9:30 for the first game of that 3-game series. 6:30 local time. Back toward the middle, and that'll get into center field, a base hit. Rounding third and scoring is Jerko. RBI single. It means the tying run is coming to the plate. Will Venable with 3 hits today. And B.J. Upton will stroll to the plate. They're going to have to hold Venable on.
Kenny had his way with Melvin Upton Jr. last night. See how it goes today.
4 for 11 as a pinch hitter. Not too shabby this year. Starts him off with a slider, and it's 0-1.
You can see the shadow started creeping to that batting circle, I guess you could say. I don't think it's at the point where it's going to affect you drastically, because the backdrop and the pitcher are still in sunlight. So I don't think that shadow is really going to come into play just yet.
No, the slider and another strike. It's 0-2. That ball got a piece of Carlos on the foul.
This one gets him right just below the throat.
Oh.
That never happens.
Must have been just the right way he turned his head. Struck him out. 97 on that fastball. 2 away, 2 strikeouts. Man, did that ball jump?
I'll tell you, last night it wasn't very pretty for Melvin Upton Jr. And today,
ball was in the glove.
Yeah, just not a real good chance there for Melvin.
Here's Amarista. Amarista doubled and scored his last time up. Runner goes. Pitch is fouled back. It's 0-1. They are not holding Venable on. With 2 outs, they can choose to avoid that. Runner goes. Pitch is just a bit outside and a little high. That one's popped up foul down the left field line. One and 2. Phillies try to cap off a series sweep. Pick up their 16th win since the All-Star break. This is the 21st game since the break. The 1-2 pitch. Fastball outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 97 on that. That's where he's topping off today. We'll try it again. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and the pitch. Outside, same spot. Same spot as the last one. Called a ball. The tying run is at the plate for the Padres. The Phillies have led from the outset. They scored a run in the first, tacked on single runs in the 6th and 7th, 2 more in the 8th. They lead it 5-3, and the 3-2 pitch coming to Amarista. Swing and a miss. He got him. 97 on that fastball, and the Phillies have completed a 3-game sweep of the San Diego Padres. The first leg of this long road trip goes convincingly to the Phils. They win it today by a final score of 5-3. And how about a 16-5 record since the All-Star break?